CBC Morning Report for Friday, July 1st. In our top story, crop-over activity is heating up and the relaxation of protocols has already had an impact on gate receipts as patrons are coming out to events. There's also been some cost saving for promoters as the spend on testing no longer has to be done. Joining us live on the Morning Report are two members of the executive of the Barbados Association of Masqueraders, Anthony Lane, the president, and Brian World, the vice president. Individually, they also participate in other aspects of the festival. Good morning to you, gentlemen.
Good morning.
Good morning to you, Mr. World. Yes, good morning. Now, we have seen the end of the protocols, and I want to know how it has helped for you as band leaders in terms of band registration. Brian?
Okay,
Yes, Anthony? Yes. How has the relaxation helped in terms of your band registration?
Well, it is steady still. I wouldn't say there have been no significant increase up to this point. For us, the tests will probably come tomorrow. Tomorrow is our pop-up shop. I mean, right now we still advertise the online portal, so you can still sign up online. So it is still it's steady, but I would not say there have been a significant increase since the relaxation of the protocols.
Okay, and could that be mainly because
I'm
of
not hearing
the
anything.
economic downturn?
Well, that is quite possible. Looking at both Forde and Kadooman, there is, it is heading in the same direction where it is slow. So it could be because of the economic downturn, in terms of money to spend. It is very scarce for some people, and I think that probably is one of the key reasons, along obviously with the protocols that were in place before in terms of testing and so on. So I think it's a combination of both. We will now see how the relaxation of the protocols would affect the increase in traffic in terms of if we get more, persons or not. But I think it's a combination of both, and the economic downturn might be playing a more significant role here.
Okay. Now, we had another situation which caused a bit of concern for you as band leaders, and that was the routes, and you had agreed on one. I'm just wondering if with the relaxation, if perhaps you're looking to revisit that issue and see if maybe we can return to the old Route 42 events.
At this point in time, I would say no to that question. The route had been proposed, and the necessary site visits and so on have taken place. It would be very difficult. And remember, the ABC route is a new route, so therefore a lot of work would have gone on behind the scenes up to now. I myself was involved in one site visit, so with the police, the emergency personnel, Barbados Water Authority, and so on. So it would be difficult now to move. Even if you move back to the traditional route where the template has already been set, so to speak. Okay. To move now would be quite difficult. I think what we need to do is to push the route, advertise the route, market the route, and be excited about the route. I know
Okay.
Barbados basically doesn't like change, but
That's cool.
it was necessary. It was necessary because it is in a COVID environment, and one of the main reasons was that we were not supposed to be passing through any densely populated areas, and that's the reason why. COVID is still with us, and we still have to be good corporate citizens. We got to remember that. I mean, I was say yesterday someone died from COVID. Some of us have very elderly parents. Personally, for me, my mother is 94, and I have to be very mindful of that. So if we say, because the protocols have been relaxed, you should go back to the old rope and all that. But you still got to be mindful of COVID of being out there. I was there yesterday. There was a spike. So where we are now, it would probably happen. It would happen whether there's a spike or not. So
Okay.
I think the best thing now is to remain where we are.
Okay, if I can throw to you now, Mr. Worrell, in terms of the entertainment side of things, the fetes, the pop-up parties, the breakfast parties, the cruises, have you seen an uptick as yet in patronage returning since the fall away of the protocols?
Hi, good morning, Wendy. The since the change in the protocols, I can say that we have had um, some increased calls. I mean, from the band perspective, but from the promotion perspective, there hasn't really been much time. This is now the second weekend. The protocols were changed, as you know, last Sunday. Um, so now this is another weekend coming up, and we now have to look and see and monitor and see what the turnouts are going to be like. But there isn't enough time as yet. There has been one major event that was held on Wednesday, and that was well attended. But that was being attended well before the change. So we now have to see as we go forward in the season, how the change in protocols will affect events.
But some people are positing that in terms of box office gate receipts, it's going to be better because now you don't have to go through all the tests and wait for the 24 hours clearance. And if you do test positive for COVID, then your money's already out. So people are saying, yes, I will buy a ticket for this event or for that event.
Yeah, well, I mean, anything that goes back more to the normal state of affairs is always going to increase the persons coming out and wanting to participate. So the more normal the experience, there are persons that were not willing to be tested every time they go to events. There are people that go two, three times, sometimes four, from Thursday to Sunday, and to be tested twice. Sometimes it's a deterrent. So with that not being out of the way, I suspect that it will be much easier for the decision to be just which vet you want to go to and not when you have to get tested and all those things. So it should, really be a take should be seen, and I believe that it will happen.
Okay. Now, my final question to both of you. In terms of the personnel who have to work alongside the band and also at your pop-ups and your fetes, etc., you are now not going to have to pay for their testing. How will this redound to your benefit in terms of cost saving? Can you perhaps give me a percentile that you might be saving on?
Well, I believe that's scalable, Wendy, to the type of event is being held. The larger the event, obviously, the more personnel, validation, testing officers you will need at those larger events. And that cost will be scalable to the size of your event that you're holding. So a smaller event with maybe two, 300 people, where you only need maybe two, three validators and two COVID officers. In the past, that would have been a smaller cost. But any cost, because the numbers attending events has been low. So any cost that was going towards the promoter was a deterrent. So regardless of the percentage of the overall budget that you would be adding for validation, it was still um, too much. Anything was too much at that point. So now that that's gone, I mean, promoters will feel a lot better that they don't have to spend that additional money towards that service.
Okay, and what about you, Mr. Lane? Can you already look at the potential savings in terms of the barmen, et cetera, that you're going to have Kadooment Day and 4-day morning?
Right? Any cost at this time would really be too much, because again, revenues are kind of low. So I totally agree with Brian. You don't want the additional expense at this point in time. So any ease will be appreciated, and that is one that we really appreciate. But we're trying to limit the expenditure at this time.
Okay, I want to thank both of you gentlemen for joining me this morning. And here's hoping that we do have a happy crop over and that everyone continues to be safe.
Okay,
Thank you
thank
for
you,
having
Wendy.
us.
Thank you so much. Next on the CBC Morning Report, updates on the COVID pandemic and the war in Ukraine. Herd immunity. This is what Barbados, the region, and the rest of the world was hoping for in relation to COVID-19. However, the Chief Medical Officer, Dr. the Most Honorable Kenneth George, told CBC News this concept of herd immunity is no longer relevant in this current COVID environment.
Why? Because each of the newer strains that come out are so different from the previous strain that you need to have immunity for that strain. The immunity that you would have been, the level of immunity that you would have had, let's say for the Alpha variant, is not the same as the Delta or the Omicron variant. And therefore, the concept of herd immunity is a concept that can't work with respect to the COVID environment.
The CMO is also warning Barbadians who have refused to get COVID-19 boosters. Dr. George says the reality is these individuals are no longer adequately protected against new variants of COVID-19.
2 doses earlier after the pandemic is no longer gives you that type of protection against a newer variant. So that you need to have boosters as a means to protect yourself when new variants come.
COVID-19 has claimed the life of an 89-year-old woman who was fully vaccinated. She passed away on Wednesday, bringing the number of deaths as a result of the virus to 477. Meanwhile, 326 new COVID-19 cases, 79 females and 247 males, were recorded from the 823 tests conducted by the Besto Santos Public Health Laboratory. Of the positive cases, 305 are 18 years and older. The number of people in isolation facilities was 38, while 1,229 were in home isolation. Over 10 countries in Latin America and the Caribbean are still lagging behind and are yet to achieve the goal of vaccinating 40% of their population against COVID-19. Director of the Pan American Health Organization, Dr. Carissa Etienne, wants countries to pick up the pace of vaccination.
I don't want to diminish the fact that we are doing well in terms of numbers, but I dare say not well enough. More than 1.9 billion doses of COVID-19 vaccines have been given in the Americas, and we have reached just over 69% across the region of the population with complete vaccination schedules. But I think we can't ignore the fact that we still have 224 million people in our region who have not received a single dose of COVID-19 vaccines. And while 17 countries in the region have passed the target of vaccinating 70% of their populations, and 40 countries are over 40% vaccinated, we still have 11 countries that have not yet reached the 40% target.
Guyana's Minister of Health, Dr. Frank Anthony, has rejected myths and rumors about the Infectious Diseases Hospital, noting the majority of people admitted to the facility after testing positive for COVID-19 leave alive. Dr. Anthony contends the facility is fully equipped to handle all critical patients, including those who need dialysis treatment and even emergency surgeries.
The hospital is functioning like any other hospital. But like any other hospital, there would be very critical patients that would come to us that it's very difficult in some instances to save those patients. But as I said, the majority of people who come to us, we are able to treat them and discharge them. And we have been using several medications now. So things like remdesivir is now routine at the COVID hospital. Baricitinib, we were one of the first countries in the region to start using baricitinib, and we have seen very good results. The WHO has recently recommended the use of baricitinib for COVID-19 patients, and I think the treatment that we offer to our patients are the optimum treatment that we can give at this time.
Russian forces have withdrawn from Snake Island in the Black Sea, a move Ukraine hailed as a victory. However, Russia says it showed Moscow was not seeking to hinder United Nations efforts to organize a corridor for the export of Ukrainian food products.
It comes after repeated attacks by Ukrainian forces targeting Russians occupying the island. The Kremlin called the retreat a goodwill gesture to help the UN establish a corridor to export grain from Ukraine. But Kyiv says the Russians fled the island in 2 speedboats following a barrage of Ukrainian artillery and missile strikes. Our diplomatic editor James Bays has more from the summit in Madrid on efforts to get the grain out.
The UN, along with Turkey, have been working on a plan to try and get the grain that's trapped inside Ukraine out through the Black Sea, using the Turkish Navy to escort the ships and with UN inspectors to make sure those ships are not carrying weapons when they arrive in Ukraine. The plan is also for Russian grain and fertilizer to be brought back to world markets. President Erdogan at a news conference told me plans are proceeding well.
Sayın Putin'le We will continue to conduct phone diplomacy with Mr. Vladimir Putin and Mr. Volodymyr Zelensky this weekend or beginning of next week. We already have a roadmap that has been put in order. We will contact them and try to realize this grain corridor as soon as possible.
An important development in recent hours, the barely populated but strategically important Snake Island in the Black Sea has changed hands. Russia says it was relinquished as a gesture of goodwill, but one Ukrainian MP told me it was actually retaken by his country's forces.
When we are saying Russia and gesture of goodwill, it's something that couldn't be together. They just lost the battle for Snake Island because, yes, without Snake Island control, we couldn't provide secure shipments of grain. It's impossible. So that was absolutely needed to make these shipments. Today we did it.
The UN believes that the plan to try and get the grain out of Ukraine could be a major first step in trying to solve the global food crisis. If they do a deal, I'm told, it will be signed in Istanbul.
Time to preview what's coming up on Morning Barbados. We say good morning to Pearson Bowie.
Wendy, good morning to you. Good morning to everyone as well. Today, as you know, is July the 1st. So at 6:30 this morning, we'll be talking about Canada Day as Canada marks the anniversary of Confederation, which happened in 1867. And so the Canadian High Commissioner to Barbados will join us and we will talk more about the celebration globally. Also tonight, Shining Stars Calypso Tent will be having a very special show on there. Looking forward to seeing all of you. As you know, the crop over season has started in full earnest, and so the Calypso Tents are out and about and really enjoying and encouraging patrons to come. Well, there's a very special guest who will be there. We'll introduce you to her in just a little while. And also today, we'll talk to you a little bit about what the Ministry of Youth, Sports and Community Empowerment is doing tomorrow in Golden Square Freedom Park. It's a very special event, and so we want to share it with you. Those and a whole lot more when you join me at 6:30 for Morning Barbados. Back to you, Wendy.
Thank you, Pearson. Sounds like an exciting show. We'll see you at the bottom of the hour. We'll have more news next on the CBC Morning Report. Prime Minister Mia Amor Motley has responded to concerns about Barbados' ability to repay the $900 million loan from the International Monetary Fund. She was speaking last evening during the launch of 2 volumes of edited papers and speeches by Sir Alistair McIntyre.
To hear that $900 million from an IMF program is something that will cripple a country when that constitutes a mere 6.4% of its debt, and at no stage will garnish more than 4% of the revenues in servicing the debt, tells me that that figure has been used to excite persons without context. Because if context was placed, then you would realize that that amount is not only one of the smallest amounts, but that the capacity to service the debt is more than manageable.
Higher electricity bills currently being received by Barbadians are as a result of the higher cost of fuel and not due to the Barbados Light and Power Company being successful in its bid for a rate increase. CBC's Shane Jones reports.
Electricity is an essential service, and hundreds of thousands of Barbadians rely on it every day. The thought of an increase in electricity bills coupled with the rising cost of living has caused serious concern in society, and many people have indicated their bills are already coming in at a higher cost. I reached out to Director of Customer Solutions at the BL&P, Kim Griffith Tang Ho, to clear up the issue.
At Light and Power, we've always cared about our customers, and we work really hard to ensure that the cost of electricity is affordable. More recently, it's been challenging for us because one of the key drivers of the electricity prices is the price of oil and fuel. And as you know, we burn fuel to produce electricity. And so when the price of oil goes up, it causes electricity prices to go up. And really, that's what our customers have been seeing recently. And unfortunately, it's happening at a time when the price of everything else is increasing as well. So it's been really challenging having to talk about our rate application in an environment where we're seeing really high fuel prices.
Ms. Griffith Tang Ho said when the Light and Power asked the FTC to adjust their rates late last year, it had nothing to do with what's currently happening with fuel prices.
We're actually asking for an increase in our base rate, which is very different from the increases that customers are seeing in the price of fuel. And we've not had an increase in our base rate since 2010, and that was 12 years ago. So we've gone for over a decade without adjusting our electricity rates.
The Director of Customer Solutions said they understand that many people are not pleased with the request for a rate increase at this time.
Things are very tough for many customers, for many of our customers right now. And for any business, it's never easy. It's never a great time to ask customers to pay more for a good or service, especially when it's a service like electricity, which really is an essential service like ours that people rely on and need. And so, you know, really at the end of the day, we recognize that this is really a tough time for us to be coming forward, but absolutely necessary for us to come forward to ask. And a rate increase for us is always a last resort, and we only ask when it's absolutely necessary.
Yesterday was the confidentiality hearing in the rates adjustment application. Shane Jones, CBC News.
The public is advised that 2 roads in Bridgetown will close from 6 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. today to facilitate the memorial service for the late George Lamming at Frank Collamer Hall. They are Church Village and Paul Green Alley. In addition, there will be no parking on Spry Street, Lower Robert Street, St. Michael's Row, and Crumpton Street. Motorists are urged to avoid the area. CBC TV 8 will have live coverage of the funeral of George Lamming from 9:45 a.m. And for some sports news, Barbados won its first medal at the First Caribbean Games in Guadeloupe last night. Danielle Treasure took silver in the women's 200-meter backstroke. Swimming on night 1 of the Games, Treasure was in the middle of the pool in lane 4, sporting the yellow swim cap. She was in second place for the majority of the race and came home in that position, clocking 2 minutes 22.63 seconds. Meanwhile, none of Barbados's 100-meter entries in the track and field event will be competing today. All 3 of them, Julian Ford, Jameel Walks-Miller in the men, and Hannah Connell in the women, are out due to injury. However, Connell will still run tomorrow in the women's 100 hurdles. Meanwhile, the Caribbean Games got going yesterday with the Barbados under-23 netball team defeating rivals Trinidad and Tobago. CBC's Anne-Marie Burke reports from Guadeloupe.
Guadeloupe has welcomed the best of the region's under-23 athletes. It's the Caribbean Games 2022. Here now is the report from Team Barbados. Brought to you through our kind sponsors, Powerade, Feel the Power, The Sunny Water, Connect Mind and Body, Dave's Supercut, the best tree trimmers and fellows around, Corporate General Insurance, you're not just a policy holder, you are an owner, and the Barbados Olympic Association, inspiring excellence fueling passion.
The Junior Gems did have some early troubles with their mid-court passing, but once they settled in, they led all quarters 12-7, 23-14, 34-21, before closing out the win at 45-32. Coach Denise Allen says she is pleased with the way they executed the game.
Overall, I thought we had a good performance. We were able to meet some of our goals per quarter. We had a bit of a slow start. It's the first game. They needed to get into the court, the feel of the umpires, their opponents, and once they got up and going within the first 3 minutes of the game, they were able to execute. I thought the shooters shot really well, and we came together as a team in the end so that we can pull right through and win the game by a reasonable margin.
The Caribbean Games in Guadeloupe, brought to you through our kind sponsors, Powerade, Feel the Power, The Sunny Water, Connect Mind and Body, Dave's Supercut, the best tree trimmers and fellows around, Corporated General Insurance, you're not just a policy holder, you are an owner, and the Barbados Olympic Association, inspiring excellence, fueling passion.
And it's time now for a look at the weather picture. In Barbados right now, we stand at 27.6 degrees Celsius, and it's cloudy with some haze. The humidity stands at 79%, and the barometric pressure is 1013.5 millibars. The winds are from the east-southeast at 35 kilometers per hour. The tide's low tide will be at 11:29 a.m. and another low tide at 11:06 p.m. High tide will be at 7 minutes past 6 this evening. The seas are moderate to rough in open water, with swells ranging from 2.5 to 3 meters and increasing. A small craft advisory is in effect for above normal and swell heights. In Barbados today, it will be mostly cloudy to overcast with moderate to heavy showers, periods of light to moderate rain, and a very slight chance of scattered thunderstorms. Tonight, it will be mostly cloudy to overcast with scattered moderate to heavy showers, periods of light to moderate rain, and a very slight chance of isolated thunderstorms. Here's now a look at our international cities. That's today's morning report. Our next newscast will be Newsday at noon, and followed by the World at 1 via our radio network of stations on 100.7 FM, 98 The One, and 94.7 FM. It's time now for Morning Barbados.
Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Barbados, get up. Good morning, Barbados, good morning. Good morning to you. Good morning, 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 morning. Good morning to you. Good morning, morning Barbados. Good morning, good morning to you. Good morning, morning Barbados. Good morning. Wake up, wake up, wake up. Morning to you.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to today. It is Friday, the 1st of July, 2022. I am Pearson Bowen, welcoming all of you here, there, and everywhere to Morning Barbados. Grateful for your company. As always, I encourage you to follow us on our YouTube streams and our Facebook streams as well. Good to have you and to see you there. Interact with us via those media. And also remember to like our page, Morning BDS 246 on Facebook. That's where we are as well. Now, coming up today, Georgie has a song and Georgie has a video. So Georgie will join us in this Calypso season this morning to share with us his latest and perhaps his greatest. So look out for that as well. The Long Bay Salvation Army Corps are having a community activity on the weekend, and certainly we want to share with you how you as that community and you as members of the Salvation Army can also lend your support to the community in which you serve. Family Fest is on. It is July. It starts this weekend, and certainly Cornelius Bartlett will join us to talk a little bit more about how we can engage with the activities for Family Fest 22. Told you before, Shining Stars Calypso Tent has a big night tonight with a big star in, and certainly we'll meet that big star this morning as we get ready to be among the tent goers to the Carter's Shining Stars Calypso Tent tonight. The Ministry of Youth, Sports and Community Empowerment are having a big outreach program tomorrow in Golden Square Freedom Park. It's absolutely free, a whole day practically of festivities and activities, and we want to encourage as many of you as possible young to come on down and to engage with the services of the Ministry of Youth. But let's get started this morning on July the 1st by acknowledging a significant milestone for one of our partners, Canada. And so today, as Canada Day, we want to talk about what the celebrations will look like and what the celebrations always look like. Joining us to talk a little bit more about that is Canada's Commissioner to Barbados, High Commissioner to Barbados, Her Excellency Lillian Chatterjee. Good morning to you, Ambassador.
Hello, how are you, Mr. Bowen? You have a very famous Canadian name with your first name, Pearson.
Pearson International, yes, indeed, I know.
I apologize. I
yes,
apologize.
That's all right.
Yes, because Lester Pearson was our first Nobel Peace Prize winner from Canada.
All right. So you see, there's a reason why we're together today, even more so now, Pearson to Canada. Now, Canada Day celebrates the fact that it's the anniversary of the Confederation in 1867. Just put into context so that Barbadians here...
I'm very sorry, they asked me to
that's
tell
okay. Barbadians here may not know what it was that brought about Canada Day. It's a national holiday. What was it that really caused this day, July the 1st, 19 now, and by 1867 then, to be acknowledged in the way that it is? We'll try to get the High Commissioner back to us in just a moment. But it is Canada Day, observed July the 1st, a national holiday. It marks the anniversary of the Confederation in 1867. So I believe the High Commissioner is back with us now. All right, so she's trying to get that sorted out. Initially, it was known as Dominion Day. Dominion Day, and it was renamed in 1982 as Canada Day. So what does it all mean? What's the significance of it to Canadians, and how are Canadians, and how do they normally traditionally celebrate this particular day? We know Independence Day. Is this their Independence Day? What is it? What's the significance to Canadians globally as well? And how has Barbados been able to work with Canada? It's been a little while. We have quite a history with Canada. The Canadian High Commissioner was established in Bridgetown on the 27th of September 1973. And ever since then, we have quite a strong relationship with Canada. So there you are again, High Commissioner. These things happen early in the morning, so I do understand indeed. Now let's talk a little bit about
this. Mr. Bowen, you're earning your salary this morning. I'm so sorry.
That's all right. That's okay. Let's talk about the significance of Canada Day and or Confederation Day. What were the circumstances that caused that to come about?
So this is our 155th anniversary, and we became independent in 1867. People don't realize that Canada has the distinction of being colonized by two countries, both Britain and also France. It was first France and then Britain. And so we were seeking independence from 1840 onwards. So it took 27 years for us to gain our independence in 1867. And we were, as you stated, we were the Dominion of Canada first. And now we are Canada, and very proud to be.
Yes.
And I congratulate Barbados on its becoming a republic. That's a wonderful thing, and I was very privileged to be there and witness it last November.
Indeed. I mean, the two cultures that you spoke of, French and British, are still very much strong in Canada. You know, there's the French, Quebec, they speak French over there, and then the rest of you still acknowledge the Queen as head of state. And so today, yes, as Canadians globally celebrate Canada Day, traditionally, what happens?
So it's a time to be with family and friends. If I were back home, and I recently came back, I returned on Sunday from Canada. People get together, they have barbecues, and they get together with family and friends. Barbecues are the most traditional way of celebrating Canada Day. Everyone flies the flag, and in the evening, people sit, well, all day long. There are festivities that are televised, and you can certainly, if anyone wants to follow, you're welcome to follow on our Facebook and Instagram and Twitter. We will be doing this all day today. And then in the evening, there's always a big show with star-studded celebrities, and then there's a fireworks display. So sort of like your New Year's Eve fireworks, July 1st is known for Canadian fireworks across the country.
I mean, we here at MCTV, we have CBC Toronto that gives us a sight into what happens in Canada. So we get to see the Canadian culture laid up before our very eyes. So today, all day, Canadians all over the world are going to be celebrating this day. Is there any particular celebration here in Barbados for Canadians to find themselves together to share as one as well?
As a matter of fact, the Canadian Women's Club, which recently celebrated the 150th anniversary, is inviting everybody for a sundowner at Lone Star this evening. So if you'd like to join them, you're more than welcome, and I'm sure Lone Star would be very happy to have you. We ourselves, it's a public holiday, so it's a time we consider it sacrosanct to be with our families and friends. And so I'm hosting our Canadian families here at my home today. And we will be shortly next week holding a Canada Day reception.
It's quite a festivity indeed. Let's talk about Canada's relationship with Barbados now for just a little while, if you don't mind, if I digress just a bit. Because we started formal relations in 1973, and ever since then we've had this very rich relationship that's going on. I mean, almost 10% of Canadians choose Barbados as their favorite destination. How is it in terms of maintaining that legacy, and where are the areas of growth as you see it?
Well, it's not hard to maintain a relationship with Barbados. This is what really inspires me, is how Barbadians have contributed to the fabric of Canada, as have all other Caribbean populations. And I was happy to see that we are doing the same thing here. So you all know historically we started off with our Newfoundlanders trading cod for your rum, and I do think Canadians got the better of that deal. But over the centuries, we have maintained a really good relationship with the Barbadians. And now we've taken it next level. Of course, you know, Barbadians know that Prime Minister Trudeau and Prime Minister Mockley get along really well. And lately, their collaboration has even gotten closer, as they're both co-chairs of the Sustainable Development Goals Advocates Group. And so they have a lot more reason to get together and as global leaders, and that's what they both are, global leaders to champion the implementation of the UN Sustainable Development Goals. But beyond that, as Barbadians know, Prime Minister is a fierce and proud advocate of small island developing states. She champions issues of equity, whether it is financial equity or she just wants a fair share, not just for the richer countries, but she is always advocating for us not to forget about countries like Barbados. Prime Minister Trudeau totally agrees with her and is championing this. He was recently at G7 arguing that case. And so I think you can expect a lot more joined up progressive leadership between our two prime ministers.
Though you're High Commissioner to Barbados, we would love to claim you as our own, but you also have responsibility for many other territories in the region. How
Correct.
are you able to manage all of these and the expectations of your government in Canada to be able to deliver in those relationships as well? How has it been for you thus far?
Well, I started in 2021, and that was a challenge because when I first arrived here, I went straight into lockdown. First and then lockdown, and it's very hard to network when you're doing it virtually.
Yes.
But I am just overwhelmed by the hospitality of Barbados and my 6 other Eastern Caribbean countries, and it's not hard. They love Canada and we love them, and we have a very large Caribbean diaspora back in Canada, and so it's. And I have an excellent team. I don't do it alone. I have an excellent team at the Canadian High Commission. And so, our history with all our countries in the Eastern Caribbean is so grounded in deep partnership and friendship that it's really not as difficult as you would think. Of course, they would like to see me there more often. And
of course. But you're ours, so I'm sorry, we're going to be selfish for just a moment. I hope I'm not imposed in this question on you, but what do you think Canada sees for or from the Caribbean? What is it that you would want from or even for the Caribbean?
Well, for the Caribbean, we would want, you are so dependent on tourism, and we would want you to be able to bounce back. You are bouncing back. You, like Canada and like every other country, is suffering from supply chain issues, the global supply chain and the cost of inflation, partly due to the pandemic, but mostly due to this recent war by Russia in the Ukraine. So, of course, as partners, I would want us, both Canada and Barbados, to be able to come back to a full recovery. And that is where Barbados can count on Canada and our partnership to support you. You probably know all this. You know all our Canadian. We have a very vibrant Canadian private sector operating in Barbados. We have $45 billion worth of investment. That's Canadian dollars worth of investment in Barbados already, and we are very committed to promoting our green energy and technology. And I know Barbados is very interested in that. So there's so many areas that we can work on together, and happy to do so.
Well, today we want to wish you happy Canada Day. We have to leave it right there, but it has been our immense pleasure meeting you.
Thank you.
I love it.
I have to show you the hat.
Yes, what a true Canadian you are indeed. Your Excellency Lillian Chatterjee, High Commissioner of Canada to Barbados, thank you so much, and happy Canada Day to you and yours.
Thank you.
You're very welcome.
Wishing all of you too. Bye.
Thank you so much indeed. Canada celebrates today, and so we were happy to celebrate with Her Excellency Lillian Chatterjee, the High Commissioner of Canada to Barbados, as we talked a little bit about the relationship Barbados has with Canada and get a sense of how they celebrate Canada Day in Canada. Remember, if you're on the MCTV platform, there is CBC Toronto that gives you a real view into life in Toronto. So take a look at that channel today and see the big celebrations as they unfold. We'll take a break here and we're coming back with more this Friday.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning to you. Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
We are 9.5 minutes now to go to 7 o'clock, and we turn our attention now to the ongoing work of the Ministry of Youth and Community Empowerment. And certainly this morning we want to be happy to share with you all, everybody, the big activity, the details of what's happening tomorrow in Golden Square Freedom Park. Joining us to talk more about that is Wanda Reeds-Beckles, who is the Public Relations and Liaison Officer in the Ministry of Youth, Sports and Community Empowerment. With her is Claire Garns, the Barbados Youth Advanced Corps Recruitment Officer. Good morning, both of you ladies.
Good morning, Pearson.
Wanda,
Happy to be here.
Good to have you as well. Wanda, good to see you again. It's been a while, and certainly tomorrow is going to be a big day in Golden Square. And I know many people have heard about it, and now we want to be able to tell them in greater detail what they can engage with tomorrow. It's a big opportunity. Tell us what we'll expect tomorrow at Golden Square.
Well, thank you very much, Pearson. What you can expect and what Barbados can expect is having the ministry's arms all come to town to Golden Square Freedom Park. So we are saying we are moving the offices Golden Square tomorrow, a very special outreach program. We're officially located at Sky Mall Haggett Hall, but as you know, we're such a large ministry. We are officed at different locations. So everyone will be coming to Bridgetown tomorrow morning. And that will be 10:30 a.m. until 5:30. So you have an open day. Or flyers say open house, and that's opening our. So we're literally moving office to Golden Square. And basically, I just want to let persons know, because oftentimes, because we are so wide, people don't realize who we are. And we are Community Development Department, National Spill, Community Integration Secretariat, the Division of Youth Affairs. And within the Division of Youth Affairs, we have the Barbados Youth Advanced Corps, the Youth Pathways Employability Program, Next Steps Training Initiative, the National Summer Camps, Youth Achievement, and that's just some of the varying programs that we have. So just letting you know that it's a whole big set of us coming to town to come and come through the doors, and we have several entry doors.
Yes.
You know, we're open all around. And you can.
All right, so tomorrow, folks, we're heading to Golden Square Freedom Park in the city, because the Ministry of Youth, Sports and Community Empowerment are moving office to town. And all of these different divisions who fall under the umbrella are going to be there, one of which is the Barbados Youth Advanced Corps. And recruitment officers with us too. Claire, give us a sense of what it is that you do in the Barbados Youth Advanced Corps, and also what we can expect when we come tomorrow to engage with you.
Okay, thank you, Pearson. Good morning, Barbados. At the Barbados Youth Advanced Corps, which is a program for young people between the ages of 16 to 20 years old. And part of my role really is to get the program known and recruit young persons in that age range across Barbados. So my job already entails going into the schools, into the secondary schools, and we do outreach from as early as third, fourth, fifth form, as well as community outreach, where we go into the environment, into the neighborhoods and communities, and let people know about our program, parents, grandparents, as well as the young people. Because sometimes the parents are the ones that really make those decisions at times. But we really spread the word about the program and how wonderful it is for young people as they develop. It prepares them for the world of work and in life in general. Equip them with skills and qualifications that they need.
We're showing some pictures of what happens, because we want to give people a sense that it is fun, but you're learning and advancing as you go. So if you have that teen that is just looking for something to settle just a moment, they can be a part of the Barbados Youth Advanced Core. And when they turn out, they're turning out with skill sets, they're turning out with opportunities, having networked with others, their peers and so forth, and opportunities abound as well. So you can come tomorrow to Golden Square Freedom Park and you can get all the details. And recruitment can happen on the spot as well, Claire?
Definitely. Our team will be there in our numbers, and those persons who already have forms and they may need some clarity on anything pertaining to the form or the application, they can come to Golden Square between 10:30 to 5:30. We'll be there for the whole day, and we're willing to assist them in filling the forms, and those who need application forms, we will have them on hand as well.
And Wanda, pretty much that is what's going to be happening tomorrow as well, apart from some other entertainment aspects too, that people can come, teenagers can come, young people can come, and they will engage with the different divisions. They can have questions answered, and they can also sign up and be recruited.
Yes, Pearson, and that's why I'm moving office, because people usually come to our variant offices to do just that, to ask questions, to get help in filling out programs, that type of thing. And therefore, what we are saying is that you can come, we've come to you, one stop, you come down to town to do business, come over. We will be there to ensure that you get all that you want done. And our range of things, of course, not just will we be their person, but what we intend to do is let persons have examples of beneficiaries. So you will get to see some Barbados Youth Advanced trainees. You'll get to see that precision drill that they're well known for, independence, and other times they'll be doing a bit of that, some precision drill display. They'll be doing some exercises because, as Claire pointed out, in the Youth Advanced Core, it's a wide range of activities. They do technical and vocational partnerships with certified training institutions like SJPI, BCC, and others. So when you come for 2 years, you are coming to gain skills, hone talent, as well as gain work experience. So it's a wonderful opportunity. CXCs, they go on and on. They're very good citizens because they're involved in community service and so on. So a rounded person. But if that's not for you, we also, therefore, on the day you'll get to see examples of our community arts and impact programs and technology programs from the community development. You'll get to engage and get active with the life skills section of our youth development program. And across the communities, we cultural and visual arts training and exposure. So you'll get to see some band, spoken word, songs, singing. And there's winner of the Beige to the World talent show, Tariq O'Neill. He'll be in, and that's community development department. So you'll see the young people, you'll see a middle. Remember that our programs, yes, we're Division of Youth Affairs as part of the ministry, and therefore we range young persons from the teens right to 30, 35, but also our community development department prides itself in saying they go from 4 to 8 and 4. So you can imagine the range that's there. I want to tell you, Pearson.
Yes.
We do a lot of work, and we do it with NGOs, we do it with agencies such as UNICEF, UNDP. We are working now with Ashley Lashley Foundation and the climate change movement that's happening, and her activity coming up next week. But on site, we will have the U Report, which is a partner with UNICEF Barbados. And what U Report is bringing, which is really exciting, is not just themselves as young people, they'll be doing polls, but also coming with the youth arm of the Obesity Prevention Coalition. Young people are involved in positive movement and things that are happening themselves and their families and their people. So at the Ministry of Youth, Sports and Community Empowerment, you are sure find something for you. You're sure of willing, open, trained, excited, and well knowledge in their And what we don't know, Pearson,
Yes.
we excellent at networking. So we
Yes.
will link you with wherever you need to be. So
Indeed.
that's what we're about on Saturday. And there'll be cultural performances throughout the day and so on. So people should come out. You should find out what you want. If you're an entrepreneur, yes, others will be there with us also from the Youth Entrepreneurship Scheme. So you can come and participate. Youth Development Program and its Youth Achieving Results. So, Pearson, you may have to enter on the Community Development Department side of things in our ministry.
Yes.
But if you have some younger persons who are not a younger person who want to come out and get involved in performing arts or sports training program, we have our National Sports Council. Pearson, I know many persons familiar with our National Sports Council, which is here to provide a high level of service in area of coaching, provision and maintenance of sporting facilities, general sports, helping with groups and organizations, and mass participation in pursuit of excellence, of course, health and fitness. So be on hand. We have many programs coming up this summer and moving on. So Barbadians, come on down.
Yes, indeed. Come on down.
And if you're coming from, come on up. If you're coming from the west, come across. Wherever.
Just come
to Golden Square, and we will be happy. Just come. Don't miss it. Come.
You know, Wanda, I'm listening to him. That voice is still so rich and so beautiful indeed. You've kept it well. You've preserved it well. I miss you in the media doing what we do. But, you know, nonetheless, hopefully Wanda, the bug bites you hard enough to come back to the media. So Wanda Reed-Beckles, who is the Public Relations and Liaison Officer with the ministry.
Yes.
That's an invitation, yes, indeed. And Claire Gittins from the Barbados Youth Advanced Score. We want to encourage everyone to join with you tomorrow in Golden Square Freedom Park from 10:30 in the morning till 5:30, a whole day of festivity, fun, and interaction with the different areas in which our youth can be engaged. And it's going to be quite meaningful indeed. So as many of you as possible, let's assemble there. Thank you so much, ladies. All the best with the activity.
Thank you. Have a great day. Thanks
You're
for having
very
us.
welcome.
Thank you very much for your listening. Thank you for having us.
You're very welcome indeed. So, to the sound of the rain outside, we'll take a break right here. When we come back, Wendy Burke and the news.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you. Morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
And welcome back with our news update. I'm Wendy Burke. There is no likelihood that the band leaders will be asking for a change of route now for the two major jump-ups. President of the Barbados Association of Masqueraders, Anthony Lane, told Morning Report that at this time it would not make sense since they're trying to avoid densely populated areas in terms of possible COVID-19 transmission. He said what needs to be done is to sell the change to the public.
It will be very difficult. And remember, the ABC row is a new row. So therefore, a lot of work would have gone on behind the scenes up to now. I myself was involved in one site visit. So with the police, the emergency personnel, Barbados Water Authority, and so on. So it would be difficult now to move You know, even if you move back to the traditional route where the template has already been set, so to speak, you know, to move now would be quite difficult. I think what we need to do is to push the route, advertise the route, market the route, and you know, be excited about the route.
As to the impact thus far of the relaxed COVID-19 measures, Brian Worrell, Vice President of the organization, said it's early days yet, and this weekend may be a truer indication.
We have had some increased calls, I mean, from the band perspective, but from the promotion perspective, there hasn't really been much time. This is now the second weekend. The protocols were changed, as you know, last Sunday. So now this is another weekend coming up, and we now have to look and see and monitor and see what the turnouts are going to be like, but there isn't enough time as yet. There has been one major event that was held on Wednesday, and that was well attended, but that was being attended well before the change. So we now have to see as we go forward in the season, you know, how the change in protocols will affect events.
Higher electricity bills currently being received by Barbadians are as a result of higher costs of fuel and not due to the Barbados Light and Power Company being successful in its bid for a rate increase. CBC's Shane Jones reports.
Electricity is an essential service, and hundreds of thousands of Barbadians rely on it every day. The thought of an increase in electricity bills coupled with the rising cost of living has caused serious concern in society, and many people have indicated their bills are already coming in at a higher cost. I reached out to Director of Customer Solutions at the BLNP, Kim Griffith Tang Ho, to clear up the issue.
At Light and Power, we've always cared about our customers, and we work really hard to ensure that the cost of electricity is affordable. More recently, it's been challenging for us because one of the key drivers of the electricity prices is the price of oil and fuel. And as you know, we burn fuel to produce electricity. And so when the price of oil goes up, it causes electricity prices to go up. And really, that's what our customers have been seeing recently. And unfortunately, it's happening at a time when the price of everything else is increasing as well. So it's been really challenging having to talk about our rate application in an environment where we're seeing really high fuel prices.
Prime Minister Mia Motley has responded to concerns about Barbados' ability to repay the $900 million loan from the International Monetary Fund. She was speaking last evening during the launch of 2 volumes of edited papers and speeches by Sir Alistair McIntyre.
To hear that $900 million from an IMF program is something that will cripple a country when that constitutes a mere 6.4% of its debt, and at no stage will garnish more than 4% of the revenues in servicing the debt, tells me that that figure has been used to excite persons without context. Because if context was placed, then you would realize that that amount is not only one of the smallest amounts, but that the capacity to service the debt is more than manageable.
U.S. Supreme Court Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson has been sworn in to start her lifetime appointment as the first black woman to serve on that country's top court.
It's been a barrier-breaking day. Brown Jackson is not just the first black woman on the court, although she is that, but she's also made the court now for the first time, a court that has 4 women for the first time ever and doesn't have a majority of white men. There are 4 white men on the court out of the 9 justices. And there is no diversity in terms of academic background. Ketanji Brown Jackson has gone to Harvard University and Harvard Law School. All of the other justices went to elite Ivy League institutions. But this will change the look of the court. What it won't change is the ideological mix. There are 6 conservative justices, and because she replaces a conservative justice, It is 6-3 still. And those 6-3 decisions are what has gotten the court a good deal of criticism across the country, particularly the reversal of the right to abortion. That was removed last week. That means all 50 states and the territories get to decide for themselves whether abortion is legal or not. Half of the states are set to reverse that right. So there's been a lot of criticism about that. President Biden just today called the decision by the court outrageous. He says it needs to be reversed in the sense that Congress needs to pass a bill, a law, making abortion a right across the nation. Now, to do that, he says they might have to remove the filibuster. That's this rule that requires a supermajority of 60 votes. So the court is being heavily criticized, but its face is changing, if not its ideological makeup.
Well, that's a wrap for news. And when we come back after the break, you'll have more of Pearson Bowen and Morning Barbados.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you. Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
So we're 12 minutes now after 7 o'clock and no rain will stop this jam. You better believe it. So stand by for your chance to unscramble the letters. I've tossed them already into the air. They're fallen in a weird order. And now you get a chance to unscramble them for me. So do give me a call on 228-5562 or 228-5563 right now. And let's see if you can unscramble these letters to form the word that I'm looking for. So let's have some fun. In spite of the rain, or perhaps because of the rain. 228-5562 or 228-5563, time to unscramble the letters. So what word are we going to go to first? Let's see what word comes up all jumbled up, or as the lady said, beer nonsense. What word do you think this is, folks? Look at those letters. They're one vowel and a bunch of consonants. So what word do you think that makes? 228-5562 or 228-5563. Call me now and let's see what you figured out by looking at those letters, setting them in order, and figuring out the word. 228-5562 or 228-5563. This one actually looks quite simple. Simple Simon made the pieman. So let's see if you know this one. 228-5562 or 228-5563. Hello, good morning to you.
Good morning.
Hi, how are you doing?
I'm fine, and you?
Oh, I'm very well, thank you for asking. Is it raining by you?
Not right now.
It's not raining by you. It is pitching down right here in the Pine, indeed. Love it to death do us part. What parish are you watching us from?
St. Andrew.
St. Andrew. Lucy, is you? Good morning, Lucy. Simple. What word is this?
It's Duppy.
Yes, it's Duppy. Well done indeed, Lucy. Thank you. Enjoy the rain and be safe today, okay? All right, Lucy Maynard of St. Andrew, she's the first one in to unscramble the word. So let's put another one there. Let's see if they can figure this one. Oh, I wish you well. Look at all those letters all jumbled up. What word do you think you can make from those letters? 228-5562 or 228-5563. I wish you well. This one gives me a headache. Just looking at it, what word do you think can be formed by setting in order those letters you see on the screen? 228-5562 or 2258. Listen, Roel, you're going to make me call the word out loud. 228-5562 or 228-5563. What word do you see? And as the lady says, this is a beer junk. That's what she's seeing on her screen. But nonetheless, let's see if you can take the junk, set it in order, and figure it out. Good morning. Hello.
Good morning.
Hi, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
Good, you're welcome. What's your first name?
Natalie.
Hello, Natalie. I'm Pearson. What parish are you watching us from?
St. Michael.
What part of St. Michael, Nat?
Whitehall, number 1, Whitehall.
Whitehall, number 1, Whitehall. That's the place? Whitehall, number 1, Whitehall?
Number 1, Whitehall.
That's not what you said to me at first. But number 1, Whitehall. Is it raining?
Yes, it is.
Hard?
Not very hard.
Not at the moment.
Not at the moment.
Did it rain overnight?
In between, there were.
Or you were sleeping? You were sleeping too hard to know, right?
I heard it.
No problem. So Natalie, look at this nonsense on your screen and tell me what sense you can make of it. What do you see?
Pandemonium.
Don't ask me questions, Natalie. What do you see?
Pandemonium.
You took these jumbled letters and you made a word pandemonium from them?
Yes, please.
That is absolute craziness, Natalie. Total nonsense, as the woman said yesterday. That is what you make from those letters for real? Seriously, don't joke. Seriously.
Yes, seriously.
And you can see no other word?
I believe they can make another word.
What word, other word can you get from it?
I will have to think, but as I look at this, I saw a pandemonium.
As soon as you looked at it, you saw the word pandemonium. Why did you start with the consonant M as opposed to the consonant P?
I don't know.
Because you can't imagine, you don't know any M words, that's your problem. But Natalie, you're absolutely right. It is indeed pandemonium. Well done, Natalie. Thank you so much for playing with us this morning. Have a great weekend, okay? She's of Whitehall, number 1, Whitehall. I love it. Natalie, thank you for watching. We'll take a break right here. When we come back, we'll tell you about the big activity tonight in the Carter's Shining Stars Calypso tent. Stay with us.
Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Barbados, get up. Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you. Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
For sure you've been listening to the stations of the CBC, and for sure you do know by now the Shining Stars, Carter's Shining Stars Calypso tent has pitched. Last weekend they had a spectacular weekend and we saw all of the reviews in the newspapers. This weekend it is a continuation of the great show at Carter's Shining Stars Calypso tent. Joining me first of all is the tent manager, the mistress of them all, Julie. Good morning to you.
Good morning to you, Pearson. Good morning, Barbados. Happy crop over to everyone.
Well, look,
I'm so happy to be here with you.
You even have all the festive colors on. You make me look
course.
dull.
You know, this morning I had on something green and blue, and I said, nah, I need something crop overish.
Crop overish it is indeed.
Yes.
So here it is. Let me start first of all. I want to look back at last Friday when you pitched tent. You know, I heard, because I didn't get a chance to go, that it was really, really good.
It was fantastic. And don't just take it from me. The reviews came out a few days ago. A review came out this morning also. Believe me, it was fantastic, if I may say so. I mean, yes, I'm the tent manager, and I would say that because, you know, a fisherman don't say that his fish is stale, you know. But believe me, it was. If you read the reviews, you would see that we had a fantastic showing. And tonight we're going to have another big show.
Yes. I am so excited about all of this because you have a cast of excellent performers. And for those who may not know, you're pitching tent at the Daphne Joseph Hackett Theatre. So this is 1 year. You can't look past Shining Stars. You make a beer sport if you do, because Shining Stars literally has quite a number of shining stars. So let's talk about your cast for just a moment. Like, who makes up your cast?
Okay, so our cast is, we have Bumba. Then we have RS Cyclone. We have the reigning Junior Monarch King, Bit. Archie Miller, Cameraman, Lady J, Jastone, Empress B, Mama Africa, Queen T, Amara, Jude, and of course yours truly, Julie. Those are the shining stars, and Larry Mears is our MC.
Yes.
Larry Mears don't crack a joke, right? But he will keep you entertained all night long, believe me.
I was cautioned, you know, Pearson, if you go, don't let him see you here. Don't let him see you at all. He will talk about you. So, you know, but nonetheless, that's the whole point. It's a really good tent. It's a really great show. It's a wonderful vibe. And again, tonight you're on. And I know last time you and I talked about this, you teased us that you're going to have a very special guest as well. But talk to me about tonight and why everybody should come tonight.
Well, tonight, everyone should come tonight because apart from the cast, which are Shining Stars, what Carter Shining Stars is doing, we are bringing other Shining Stars into the game. So last week we were featuring Serenader.
Yes.
Now tonight we have another big show at 8 o'clock at the Daphne Joseph Hackett Theatre, and we have Black Pawn. This might be Black Pawn's retirement performance. You understand? We also have the Mighty Gabby, and from Trinidad and Tobago, we have Mauricia Ransom, who is doing her hit song Culture Center, and you know, expressing how she feels about Barbados having our wax museum. So we have a packed show tonight. If you miss it, let me tell you, blame yourself. You know, and we are proudly sponsored by Carter's General Stores, AQ Songs, DB Production, Julie's Party Rentals, and of course, Pearson, 94.7 FM in the house.
That's right. We shall be there.
Yes.
And Mighty Gabby is also featuring tonight?
Yes, and it's under his patronage, actually. And the show is under the patronage of the most honorable Dr. Anthony Gabby Carter. You understand? You have to see Gabby tonight doing his. I mean, Pearson, we were shut down for how long?
Forever.
You know, we weren't able to go anywhere. We were just on the curfew, all of these things. So we have an opportunity now to ease, as cameraman say, ease our frustration, you know. So I'm inviting persons to come down to the Daphne Joseph Hackett Theatre tonight at 8 p.m. and see the lineup of the Carter Shining Stars, and also to see the Mighty Gabby, Black Pawn, you know, and I mean, it's going to be a fantastic showing. I don't think there's no other show like the Carter's Shining Stars show.
I tell you, you've started strong already.
Yes, we started strong. And listen, on the 17th of July, we are judging. And apart from the judging, we are doing a youth explosion. You understand? So something different is happening every night in the Carter's Shining Stars, Pearson. You got to be there to see it. And you know, sometimes people go to the movie and say, that show wasn't good, or that movie wasn't. You got to see it for yourself. So I'm encouraging persons to come down to the Carter's Shining Stars Calypso tent. This is not This Calypso tent is not a Julie experience. This is a Carter's experience. This is the cast experience. This is persons who are looking on experience. Do you understand?
Yes.
So my aim is to motivate, to inspire persons, you know, to rise up and be who they were ordained to be. And this is all that I'm doing, Pearson.
You know, Julie, tell us where we can get tickets, first of all. And then secondly, I see here there are, Pearson bad English, there are door prizes. You know, so let's talk about that.
So, you know why you had a little bad English? Because when you saw the prizes, you could not believe.
Couldn't believe
so that's why you kind of stumble a little bit. You can imagine coming to a Calypso tent. And with the compliments of Carter's, you can win a barbecue grill. Yes, you can win a barbecue grill. Not only tonight, but every night that you come.
Wow.
You understand? You can also win a $250 voucher from Comfort Zone, which is a part of Carter's. You can also win a $100 voucher from the Pit Stop compliments of Carter's. You understand? And all the other giveaways that we are doing. So you will not lose, you know. And you asked me about tickets, but you know the tent culture, people like to pay at the door.
Okay.
So you can pay at the door tonight. Make sure you get there early, because a little birdie tell me we might have to turn back. People, you know when they just see rain, sometimes they get a little iffy.
I know.
But no rain can stop this jam.
At all.
Not tonight.
At all, at all, at all.
Carter's Shining Stars Calypso tent is the place to be this season.
That's
As
right.
I said, we have a special guest here from Trinidad. You got to come out and see her. You got to come out and see the mighty Gabby. You got to come out and see Black Pawn. You got to come out and see the whole cast. It's the Carter's Shining Stars Calypso tent. It's more than a tent. It's a show.
Indeed. All right, Julie, thanks a lot. Let's share with folks on the screen once again a sight of what you can expect. Let's share with you the poster. And it says here, the Carter's Shining Stars Calypso tent. They under the patronage of the Most Honorable Dr. Anthony Gabby Carter, presenting Black Pawn and Mauricia Ransom, who we meet in just a moment. She's in from Trinidad and Tobago. It's a very special performance by the mighty Gabby. It's tonight at 7:30, at 8 o'clock, sorry, Pearson Boyne, 8 o'clock tonight. It's $45 and you can pay at the door. The Daphne Joseph Hackett Theatre, a full cast of excellent calypsonians and very special guests. But tonight we're honouring indeed Black Pawn. He'll be there, and the mighty Gabby will be performing, and also a very special guest in from Trinidad and Tobago. I don't know how much you know about her music, but I know when we heard the teaser, she is a solid performer, and certainly it is her experience that we will get to enjoy this evening when we head out to the Daphne Joseph Hackett Theatre for this very special performance by our lovely lady from Trinidad. $45 is the admission. The show starts at 8 o'clock. Let no rain stop you from coming to enjoy this great show by the Carter's Shining Stars Calypso tent under the distinguished patronage tonight of the Most Honorable Dr. Anthony Gabby Carter, Black Pawn, a very special guest. So, hailing from Trinidad and Tobago, oh, I'm not an MC tonight, is Mauricia Ransom. Mauricia, good morning to you.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, and thank you for having me here.
Thank you so much for coming through and being a part of the Carter's Shining Stars Calypso tent. You must be thrilled, as we all are, to be on stage tonight.
Definitely. As a matter of fact, when Julie met me yesterday, I asked her if we were ready to perform. If we're going straight to the Calypso tent.
One time.
That's the purpose of being here.
The energy is up and it's real indeed. But for those who may not know who you are, what can you tell us? Tell us who you are.
Okay, so my name is Mauricia Ransom. I am a Calypsonian. I sing with the Calypso Review in Trinidad and Tobago, which is one of the biggest tents in Trinidad and Tobago. I have entered several competitions, started from 2016 professionally, have been a finalist in the National Women's Action Cultural Committee Queens, that's the National Calypso Queens, for the past 5 years before COVID. And I will tell you all about my song. I hope I'm not rushing you.
No, you can tell me about the song.
I am telling you about the Cultural Center. This song was given a lot of thought, and mainly because I'm in love with Barbados. I love the Bajans. This is my second visit here, but the first time I came, I must say, it was an experience.
Wow.
It was definitely an experience. And when my writer and I sat, I said to him, I don't want to sing anything about the pandemic or about any cultural icon who has passed. I need to sing something that is meaningful. So he was like, what do you mean? I said something out of the box. So he's like, what do you have in mind? I was like, do you know that Barbados has a wax museum? He's like, yeah. And I was like, this is really, really cool. I said, they have our heroes like David Ruther,
Yes.
Calypso Rose, Sparrow.
Yes.
Not only our heroes, but Usain Bolt,
Yes.
Bob Marley, Glenda Scott.
Yes.
You'll have, it's a place that when tourists come to Barbados, they must come to visit here. So I must commend the brilliance behind the person who came up with that great idea.
You're quite a good ambassador for Barbados. Thank you. You did that so smoothly and so well indeed. So tonight you'll be performing your culture center, and of course you love the Bajan. It's the Bajan thing about us, and all of your other big hits as well. And so for all of us coming tonight, we get to meet Mauricia. We get to enjoy your voice because it's such a beautiful, rich tone.
Thank you so much.
I am telling you, and I think we're all good. There's a lot that a lot of our female performers can also learn from you. Talk to me about your reason for getting into calypso scene.
Oh, I've been singing since I was very smaller. I started when I was at the age of 10. I actually started off with as a backup singer for Marshall Montano. And it never really happened because unfortunately my father passed on the same day I was supposed to go and back him up. And nothing happened after that because my mother, after my father's passing, was so focused on us just being academically inclined. I was only when I became an adult and I was able to finance myself, I entered into the Calypso arena again, which was 2016. Yeah.
You look
and
so
from
good.
then, it was no turning back.
No turning back. You look fantastic on TV, girl. I'm telling you. So we're going to see you on stage tonight.
Yeah, no turning
She's
back.
going to bring it all into all, as she's going to leave it right there on the stage in Culture Center, her big song, and other big jams that she has as well. She's a very special guest for the Carter's Shining Stars Calypso tent tonight, 8 o'clock. The Daphne Joseph Hackett Theatre. You spend $45 at the door and you come in. There's going to be a very special tribute to Singing Sandra. Are you doing that special tribute?
Definitely. Singing Sandra was my mother. Not my biological mother,
Right.
but my mother in Calypso.
She was a powerhouse.
Definitely.
Powerhouse. So you're walking in really good footsteps.
And
Well
her
done.
legacy lives on.
Yes, indeed so. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. We wish you the very best with your career and tonight's performance.
Thank you so much for having me.
As we stay in the business, go break a leg, eh?
Oh, definitely. Definitely.
Indeed. Thank you so much. And thank
so
you
much.
too to Julie, who joined us from the Carter's Shining Stars Calypso tent to remind us that tonight is more than a tent. It's that big experience we're having. And certainly we're having that experience from 8 o'clock at the Daphne Joseph Hackett Theatre. Tickets, you pay at the door. So bring the whole family, bring everyone down. If you're a lover of Calypso, Mauricia Ransom is going to show you how she does it. So come and learn the new experience from her too. We're taking a break right here. We're coming back with more in just a moment.
Morning, morning, morning.
Thank you.
Good morning. Good morning to you. Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
27 minutes now to 8 o'clock. This is July. We start the month of July today. We also start Family Fest month. Joining us to talk a little bit more about this, the man behind Family Fest Barbados. He is Cornelius Bartlett. Good morning to you again, Cornelius.
Hi, good morning, Pearson. Good morning, Barbados. And of course, it's always great to sit and chat with you and Barbados.
You too, my brother. We had to have you on because it's such a big activity that you're engaged with. So let's remind people what Family Fest is, and let's remind them why it's so important at these times for the family to be a part of it.
Pearson, yesterday was a very heavy day for me. When I got up, I got the news that 3 young men were shot in St. Joseph and 2 died. One of them I would have known personally. It kind of reiterated why this particular work is so important. Every vice we see in our societies, it goes right back to the family. I mean, you can name them, and we're gonna map it right back. I would dare to say and challenge maybe even the social scientists who see these things as problems. I would dare to say they're not problems, they're really symptoms. When you map, you're going to realize the problem is really a family problem. Now, Family Fest as an organization and as a project, in church circles we call it a ministry. We have some goals, and the 3 overarching goals that we are guided by is 1, to highlight the importance of family, to bring families closer together, and to promote a godly prototype of families. Our slogan is to bring help, hope, healing, and happiness to families. And of course, every year we operate under a theme, and this year's theme, Pearson, is going behind the veil of destructive behaviors. And when you hear that, you might be wondering, what do they mean by going behind the veil of destructive behaviors? Well, first of all, let me say first out that Family Fest, for those of you who haven't heard about it before, it is a month of activities. And what we have done is we have divided the month of July every year into 4 particular quadrants. First quadrant, or the first week, we deal with men. The second week, we deal with women. Third week, children. And the last week, the entire family. How do we do it? We do it through a series of panel discussions where we highlight issues affecting each member of the family, not just as a talk shop, but to bring some semblance of closure in terms of solutions as to how we can make it better.
Right.
So just to give you a snapshot, Pearson, of some of the things that we're looking at in terms of dysfunctional behaviors, we're looking at things like infidelity, domestic violence, alcoholism, things like wounded men. For children, for example, we're looking at the effects of drugs and sex and social media, troubled youth, the rise in suicidal tendencies, and the list goes on. And of course, we end the week with a discussion on the model family in Family Week. And there are more discussions, but I don't want to necessarily take up all the time just going into those granular details. But that's it.
You're talking about going behind the veil for those dysfunctional issues that people have, because you're seeking solutions. You're seeking to bring resolution to the whole situation as well. And Jehovah God designed it that the family is the nucleus, and how important it is for the family to function well. And that's why Family Fest exists, so that it is a safe space online where we can come together as people and engage with one another, and we learn not just from each other, but from those who can help to shape the way we think.
Yes, for sure. And the thing about it, you said it so well. In fact, you should probably come and be part of Family Fest, because, and you might think I'm joking, but I want this morning to send out an appeal to all agencies, whether you're a member of the police service, social worker, even corporate Barbados, because from time to time we do events that cost money. And while we draw attention to the family in July, we want to be on the road, on the ground, every single month. Personally, I'm so passionate about families that, as you know, I'm involved in business. I run a business.
Yes.
But I always make sure and take out some of my time to go to places like the Barbados Youth Advance Corp, which I saw you had on this morning, Claire and her team. I do work with them. I go into primary schools and I have talks with young people. I go into secondary schools. So I'm not just out here just thinking about money. I'm thinking very much family. And just to give you a little snapshot, of what, because we're going to wrap up shortly, of what is happening this Sunday. We start on the 3rd of July, which is this Sunday. We are joining the pastors and members of the Abundant Life Assembly. We are going to have our launch within that service. So we're looking forward to spending a wonderful time at a wonderful church, the Abundant Life Assembly, on Sunday. And then the Sunday evening, we kick off with our first panel discussion. And for those of you who want to know how these panel discussions are, when they're on, it's easy. Sundays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays. Just remember the 2 T's during the week and the Sundays. So on Sundays, we start at 5:30 because you're home, it's a little earlier. And then on Tuesdays and Thursdays, we start at 6 o'clock. And our panel discussions will usually run for like an hour. But if it is a really gripping topic and it is heading a certain direction, we sometimes extend it for maybe an extra half hour. But generally, you can just allocate 1 hour of your time on Sundays from 5:30 to 6:30, and on Tuesdays and Thursdays from 6 to 7 o'clock. But it's really going to be a great time. And then we also, at the end of it, we are ending with a concert. We are having a concert on the 31st. But before the concert, I can also tell you that we are looking to have a surprise online activity. For those of you who are wondering, all of this is on Facebook Live. On Facebook Live. If you want to see what we've been doing, you can go to our Facebook presence, which is Family Fest Barbados. You can go to Instagram, which is FamilyFest_2020, and you can see what we've been doing. Our telephone number is 832-5241, 832-5241. We want to encourage you, Corporate Barbados. You can support us. We're going to start a charity shortly, an official charity. We are a charity, but we haven't had our charity officially registered as yet. But we want to call all persons who are interested in families. If you have, and it doesn't have to be anything big as you might think, big and magnanimous.
Yes.
If you have an interest in doing something to help families, if the way our society is going concerns you, and you don't want to just sit and talk, you want to help, contact us. You can reach out to us on our social media presence on Facebook. We have a team that is there waiting to connect with you. And Family Fest itself is not just me. I know that Pearson would have alluded to the fact that I'm the one behind it. God will give me the vision. But I have a wonderful committed team of people who work behind the scenes with me to make it happen.
Indeed.
So Pearson, we're really looking forward to a great Family Fest month. I know Cupover is on and all that, but takes a break from the fun and the partying and whatever, and have a look at your families.
Yeah, you're quite right. Well said, Cornelius. Well said. Did all the best. As we will give full support here at Morning Barbados to you. Family Fest Barbados. You can go to familyfestbarbados.org if you want to see more details as well, or find them on social, and they'll be happy to engage with you. But it starts this Sunday with a church service at the Abundant Life. Then on Sundays at 5:30 p.m. for about an hour online, and then on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 6 p.m. all online. Just 1 hour of powerful sessions indeed, bringing hope, help, healing, and happiness to the entire family. 4 weeks of online conversations. Cornelius, all the best with the endeavor again this year, and we do look forward to success and change within our families as we begin to rescue our people. Thank you.
Thank you, Pearson, for having me, and God bless you and all of Barbados.
Thank you, Cornelius. Back to you as well. We'll take a break here, folks, and we're coming back in just a moment.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you. Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
17 minutes now to go to 8 o'clock as we turn our attention to the work of the Long Bay Salvation Army Corps. They're having a big community activity, and so they're speaking specifically to you, but to wider Barbados as well. Joining us to talk a little bit more about what we can expect is a member of the planning committee, Mr. Anthony Barrow. Good morning to you, Mr. Barrow.
Good morning, Pearson, and how are you this morning?
I am doing well.
And good morning, Barbados.
Thank you for asking. How do you do?
I'm good. It's good talking to you again. The last time we spoke, you were covering the St. Philip Carnival, and you had an interview with me at Long Bay Corner, so it's
Man,
really a coincidence.
that is so long ago. It's
That
not
is
funny.
wrong, Pearson.
But good to see you again. So here it is now. You're a member of the Salvation Army Corps there at Long Bay. And your work in the community is so rich and so important because your theme is together building our community. Let's talk a little bit about the work of the Salvation Army Corps there at Long Bay.
Yeah, I'm a member of the Long Bay community. I assist the Salvation Army. I'm really a member of the Racist Church.
Oh, okay.
But the Salvation Army really is such an integral part of our district. You know, I've worked with them over the past 3 years. You know, we had the shutdown, we had the dust from the volcano in St. Vincent, and there were many other challenges that we had in Barbados. And you know, I was extremely impressed by the work of the Salvation Army, you know, the kind of sacrificial work that they did. And I told the person who is in charge, Major Darrell Wilkinson, that any project that he's coming up with in any way that I can help, that I'm willing and ready to do so. And knowing Darrell well, the next day Darrell called me and told me about the projects.
Well, you got the call early o'clock, and you know that's the work of the the work of the Salvation Army to bring salvation to those who they would seek to rescue. Now let's talk about the concert because the concert is coming up this weekend. It's on Sunday, is it?
It's on Sunday at 4:30. We will be having the best band in the Caribbean, the Police Force Service Band, and I have had the opportunity on several occasions to work with them. And let me tell you something: if I can go every week to see the Police Force Band, I would.
Boy, I'm telling you.
So I'm asking the residents around the St. Philip area and those, and by extension those in Christchurch or anywhere, that are interested in following up this concert to come to Long Bay on Sunday evening at 4:30. The police band will be performing as well as some young persons from the area. So I'm encouraging persons to come out and be part of the journey. We've been locked away now for the past couple of years with this COVID, and you know, it is a pleasure, Pearson, to be out there meeting and greeting people and giving thanks that God has brought us through this very, very testing period.
You're so right on that. We're joined now by Major Denzel Walcott. Major Denzel, good morning to you.
Good morning, Pearson. Good to see you. Thanks for having us on.
Good to see you too. So let's talk a little bit now about the work of the Salvation Army Corps there at Long Bay. I mean, when you think of the work of the Salvation Army, period, you guys are selfless. You are about your community. And no doubt that also obtains at Long Bay.
You're so kind. Thank you very much. Before you go to that, the lady who spoke to you earlier said that we can join the Youth Corps from 4 to 84.
Yes.
I'm 73 now, so I still have 11 years, and I appreciate it. So what people can do. Thank you for that. You know, so and I lived in Long Bay in the 70s, and I've also found out that Long Bay is a very closely knit society community, and almost every person under the age of 50 that I've seen have passed through the Salvation Army. Either as a vocational school, evening classes, and so we are excited about having the police band at Long Bay, and we know we get the full support. You'll know that the new pastor for the church at Long Bay is Dr. Major Darrell Wilkinson, who's recently the divisional commander, and he's a new initiatives to the church. And having the police band will be a good restart for us. And we are looking forward to it on the at 4:30. We have a number of people. In fact, here in Long Bay, the churches are also very closely knit. There are 4 Methodist churches. There's a Pentecostal church. And from time to time, all of them at some time have visited the Salvation Army, and we share the ministry together. And we're very excited about that.
Yes, you heard Anthony saying amen. You're so right on that score for real, you know.
I know for all most that I worked for, he was a teenager, and we remained a very close family, you know, and I thank him for that.
You know, the concert on Sunday is absolutely free. So it's a great reason for the entire family, from young to old, you know, to really come to the church grounds there of the Salvation Army Corps at Long Bay. Sit on the blanket, bring your blankets, bring your chairs, bring yourself. Building a community together. That's the theme indeed in this free community concert featuring the band of the Barbados Police Service and some other community folks as well who are going to be there to entertain you. And, you know, this is all part, no doubt, of your general outreach, Major.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. In fact, this weekend, on the 2nd of July, that is tomorrow, we commemorate Founders Day. You know that William Booth, who was a Methodist minister, eventually launched the Salvation Army. We had different names, so we are celebrating over 116 years in Barbados, and we're excited about that. You'll know that we're remodeling the church at Long Bay as well, and adding a social service arm to it. And people who come will be allowed to make small contributions or large contributions towards this cause as well. We are not charging for it, but people can make a donation when they come on Sunday, or they can collect envelopes and make a donation later.
Great, I'm glad you said all that.
Don't forget that we are going to rebuild. Don't forget that right here we're going to have Sam Lloyd's Castle back again. And almost every person in Long Bay have been touched by the services from Sam Lloyd's Castle. They've worked there. Years ago, they also had a cricket team involved in the local BCL competition. By the way, I played for that team when I passed it here years ago, you know.
Yes. No wonder you're still so young. Thanks a lot, gentlemen.
Thank you, my brother.
You're welcome.
So kind. Maybe I check after you, you know.
Major Denzel Walcott of the Salvation Army Corps and my good friend Anthony Barrow, who was a member of the Methodist Church, but nevertheless a member of the planning committee. I know him from Racist Methodist. I want to thank you, gentlemen. All the best at Long Bay with this activity on Sunday. It starts at 4:30 in the afternoon, everybody, on the grounds of the Salvation Army Corps there at Long Bay. Thank you so much indeed. All the best. All right. We'll take a break here. We're coming back to introduce you to Georgie's song. Stay with us.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Festival. No festival. No festival. No festival. For 2 years, no bacchanal. What? No bacchanal. No bacchanal. For 2 years, no kind of fete. None at all. For 2 years, no getting wet. No sweat. We were locked down. Everything shut down. Curfew. Hit me. No hammer, nail, no screw. Watch it. Crop over it, come again. Now we can go partying till morning. For 2 years we are frat.
Told you Georgie has a song, Georgie has a video. It's called 2 Years, and so Georgie joins us now. Good morning to you, sir.
Good morning to you, Pearson. Good morning to Barbados, the Eastern Caribbean, the wider world.
Indeed. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. It's a Friday morning. It's a wet Friday, but who cares? We are all alive and we're all going to just live life the best we can. So here it is now. You have your own crop over song and video early o'clock. There are a lot of people who've released songs for crop over that have not yet done what you've done, video. So talk to me about the project.
Yeah, well, after the Prime Minister made the indication that we're going to have a crop over festival, I put pen to paper and went to my arranger in the studio, a youngster called Terrence Griffith, has a small studio there in Roebuck Street. And we worked on this 2 years. We've been all hitched up for the last 2 years. Everybody in Barbados is talking about 2 years. 2 years, that's the title of my song, 2 years, because we were all locked down. We were under curfew. Go anywhere. We had a shop by alphabet, according to your names, everything was shut down. No planes were coming, no ships were coming, the hotels were all closed down, families were not back. In some cases, they went apart in some cases. But, we went through horrors during this pandemic. So after the Prime Minister made the announcement, we can have a scaled-down version of Crop Over, I decided to do this song and decided also to put it in video because I find what the video does is give some impetus to the sound, carry the sound along with it, So that's what it's all about. 2 years.
2 years is what it's about. You're recognizing what happened, but now we're released after 2 years. Is that the conclusion of the song? Having written the composition that says this is what we've been through. We've been on lockdown. We've been lining up. We've been all of those things. But does it talk about freeing up at the end of it all?
Yeah. If you listen to the song in its entirety, it says, we out again.
Yes.
We here again to dance, prance, and jump. Whether it's on the highway or whether it's on Spring Garden, the Mighty Grinder, we're here. We have been released now. In other words, we get let out so we can afford to do our thing again, and everybody's happy for that. Even though the festival is going to be a art festival, the excitement abounds in the whole thing. It's some freshness because we were locked down. And now the gates are open now again. So people are going to fets again. A lot of songs are being released. I may got out there early o'clock and with my video to see Pearson and entertaining people. I'm not in any tanks. I don't sing in tanks now. But I still make my contribution to the festival. I've been in Calypso now for many, many years, from back in the mid-80s. And I still make my contribution every year to Crop Over, But if somebody wants me in a tent, if somebody see the song and want me to perform for them somewhere in Belgium or Nigeria,
you're just a phone call away.
You can bet.
So here it is, Georgie.
But the song has been there.
Yeah, that's good. There are people who would have given up, but you don't ever give up. You persist. What is it about the festival that says to you, you know what? Nah, I don't care what's going on. I am going to contribute. I shall be a part of it.
Well, the Crop Over Festival brings a lot of money into the coffers of Barbados. People depend on Crop Over. So my contribution is to add to that. Make people happy and let people understand that this is our biggest summer festival. This is one of our biggest money earners, and the country depends. So I come and sing every year, make a contribution. Don't get anything out of it, but I'm doing it because my children may be able to get something from COSCAP in the year in the future. So that's why I contribute every year.
All right. The song is called 2 Years. It's by Georgie. It's on the radio. Now the video will be on the TV and you get to see him indeed. Georgie, all the best with the project and future projects as well. And continue doing well what you do already so well. Thank you.
Thanks for supporting me as well. Appreciate it.
You're very welcome. You're welcome indeed. George Straker, otherwise known as Georgie. The song is called 2 Years. Before we go, just want to remind you very quickly, tomorrow is the ceremonial delivery of the last canes and the opening of the Crop Over Festival at Port Vale Factory. Starts with a parade from Heritage, the Golden Rock Hall, Freedom Park, all the way down to Port Vale, and that is going to be quite the spectacle tomorrow. They'll also have a vintage Calypso tent, a ceremonial delivery of the last game at Port Vale Factory, featuring all of those faces you see right there. Crop over, sugar make it sweet, and you make it sweeter when you're there for the opening of Crop Over 2022 with a ceremonial delivery of the last game and vintage tent at Port Vale Sugar Factory from 2 in the afternoon. I want to thank you so much for joining us today and all week long, ladies and gentlemen. It's been a pleasure. My producer has been Alicia Alsgrant, technical director Roel Ford at sound. It has been Christopher Blenman, and at master control, Tamisha Green. I'm Pearson Boyne for the crew. To all of you, have a wonderful weekend. If it be God's will, we'll see you next week. Bye-bye.
Good morning.